video, I'm going to talk about life cycle of a gymnosperm. The first thing to know about gymnosperm life cycle is that it has two stages. The first stage is we have the sporophytes. We have the sporophytes. It is diploid and it is multicellular. It is diploid and it is multicellular. We also have the gametophytes. We have the gametophytes. It is haploid and it is also multicellular. So, the life cycle usually begins with the sporophytes. So, we are going to have mature sporophytes, mature sporophytes. Don't forget that mature sporophyte is diploid, so it is 2N. It produces or it has a male cone and it also has a female cone. So this is the male cone. Another name for male cone is pollen cone. Another name for pollen cone is okay, let's put it this way. We have the pollen cone and we have the male cone. So this male cone produces a scale. Another name for this scale is known as microphyll. In biology, anything phyll has to do with leaf. So we have microphyll, a very small leaf. That scale is leaf-like, so we call it microphyll. The microphyll produces, or under the microphyll, we have what is called microsporangia. You know, this is plural. The singular is microsporangium. So, the microsporangia produces what is called microspore mother cell. Microspore mother cell. The microspore mother cell then produces what is known as pollen grain or microspore. Another name for microspore is pollen grain. That's another name for microspore. I will hold on this for now. I then go back to mature sporophyte again. Note that a sporophyte of gymnosperm is usually monoecious. Is usually what? Monoecious. Mono means one. Ecious is talking about sex. That means mono, one tree with separate sexes. So we have male on one part of the tree and female on the other part of the tree. Now, so we have the female cone. We have the female cone. The female cone has what is called megaphyll. But before we go to megaphyll, what is another name for female cone? Like we have pollen cone for male cone, we have seed cone for female cone. Another name is seed cone. The seed cone has megaphyll. The seed cone has megaphyll. Like I described here, megaphyll is leaf-like, you know. Now, this megaphyll produces, it produces an ovule, and this is the structure of an ovule. This is the structure of an ovule, and we have this. The whole structure here is an ovule. An ovule. Another name for an ovule is megasporangia. Megasporangia. That is another name for an ovule. The megasporangia contains female gametophytes. Female gametophytes. Female gametophytes. It is the female gametophyte that produces the egg. So we expect that we have our egg here. So what then happens is that from here now, the microspore pollen grain is shed away by wind. So this one comes like this. We have the pollen grain. So we have the pollen grain, pollen grain, pollen grain, pollen grain, anywhere around there, pollen grain. Now, the one of the grain has 4 cells. One of the grain, the pollen grain, has 4 cells. One is generative cell, and the other one is called the tube cell. One cell is generative, the other one is tube cell. The other two degenerate, they are not useful. We call them non-functional cell. Generative cell and tube cell are called functional cell. The tube cell, the moment it gets here, there is an opening here. In the subsequent lecture, I'm going to draw an ovule the way it looks like exactly before fertilization. But what is important here is that there is always a hole here. If I have a very good diagram for this, you have something like this. You have something like this. This is integument. So here there is a hole here. This hole here is called micropyle. So here the tube cell comes here and develop a tube. It germinates and develop a tube. After that, the moment the pollen grain reaches here and go here, we have what is called fertilization. So there is tube cell which is going to form tube, pollen tube. I will call it pollen tube, So there is pollen here. So what happens next is fertilization. What happens next is fertilization. So once there is fertilization, I will redraw this, and I don't want to waste time at all. Forget about any other thing. Just note that this is an ovule. One sperm fuses with the egg. The other one is here. So this one is an egg with sperm. Sperm plus an egg. We have the other sperm here, which is not useful. All right. Now, the structure we then have here, remember the pollen tube carries the sperm from here to the egg. Remember. All right. What we have here in this structure is called the zygote. This is the zygote. After the zygote, we have the embryo. we have the embryo. But one thing is very important here. It is very important here. This structure zygote is usually developed inside the cone, the female cone. So it is better we put it this way. We have the female cone. Inside the female cone, there is a seed. There is a seed. And inside the seed, we have the embryo. We have the embryo. Alright? And the embryo develops to give back the mature sporophytes. Now, let us look at this thing again very carefully. Remember here that we have microspore mother cell. That microspore mother cell produces microspore or pollen grain by a process known as meiosis, because this is 2N and the microspore pollen grain is N. So let's take note of that. That one is N. Alright. So when this N, this is also N here. The ovule is N, the pollen grain is N, they fuse together to give us what? Zygote. Zygote is 2N. Any development here that gives back mature sporophyte must be through mitosis, because we retain the 2N, we retain it here. So thank you so much for watching this video. This video is directly from Tutopedia Tutorial Center. We are located at Agbo, very close to University of Ibadan. Our tutorial continues for both A level and UTME level. So you can come to us so that we can give you detailed lecture on how to pass your exam very well. So you can always reach me. Please take notes. You can always reach me by calling 070 50 68 18 54. Thank you so much for watching my video.